Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Sports Today. Well, this was a long time coming, and you can say that considering the fact that once Ben Stokes got out, you knew it was always going to be a matter of when and not if Australia ended up winning this particular Test match. And well, that is it. Australia have, in fact, have they've won the second Test match by 43 runs. They've taken a 2-0 lead now in this particular Ashes series, and as cricket is fun is very well pointing out in the comments, this does look like it's going to be a difficult comeback now for England because they would have to win the next three tests on the trot if they are to regain the Ashes. So right now, as far as Australia are concerned, they are pretty much they have one hand on the urn really when it comes to the retention of the Ashes. For those of you who are just tuning in, stay tuned because we're going to be joined by a few guests on this particular live stream. But right now, let's just quickly go over, of course, the major facts. And of course, I believe I'm being joined by a guest as we speak. Right. Let's see now. Yes, Harshit, my friend, can you hear me?
I can very well hear you, Shane.
I can't seem to hear you.
Am I audible now?
Okay, your audio has for it's. I can't hear you.
1 second, 1 second.
Your audio seems to be free. In fact, even your video is freezing for whatever reason. Just try rejoining. Harshit,
Shane,
just try
with you?
rejoining the stream. It's freezing badly. Your video.
Is it better now?
Yes, now it's better. Now I can hear you at the very least.
Perfect.
Well, this was along expected lines, you can say, this result. Not really a surprise, but full credit to Ben Stokes at first to actually have gotten the test match this deep to begin with.
No, absolutely, Shane. This was a result we sort of saw coming even at stumps on day four. But credit to Ben Stokes, credit to England as well for giving it a proper fight. And yes, you can debate
Hmm.
as to what the result could have been had the battle ball approach not been adopted both in the first innings and in the second. We saw this was something that had come up in the first Test match as well. But this time around, you saw England getting real close, I would say, and it was all down to one man. And maybe maybe we could have actually looked at a completely different result had it not been for that freak run out of Johnny Bairstow.
Actually, right. That could have been a turning point because again, they took it this close, despite the fact that once Bairstow was gone, they pretty much had one recognized batsman at the crease for most of this innings. Yet, and again, I would have to blame the batsman here for the very simple fact that all he had to do was just not wander out of the crease like that at that very moment. As soon as the ball is past you, you hear it being collected, and you just wander out of the crease. You're asking for trouble. And fair play to Alex Carey. I think he was very, very quick on the uptake. He instantly stumped him out. Good stumping, really.
Absolutely, good awareness from Alex Carey, a lapse of or maybe loss of concentration from Johnny Bairstow. But Shane, interestingly though, that debate is very much on, and it's a raging debate whether there was out or not out. I think the predominant view is that it was out. But interestingly, when
Hmm.
you see the replay, you do see him sort of after he's played the ball, Johnny Bairstow, and before he gets out of the crease, you do see him sort of just put his foot again in the crease before stepping
Hmm.
out, just a gentle sort of a tap over there of sorts, and then he gets out of the crease. So I'm not too sure if that how the rules of the game sort of see that, but that's interesting for me.
Yeah, I think you're right because see the rules normally, and again, if we go back to the basics, you're always told to either tap the bat or kind of uh, tap your foot or something to ensure that
Exactly.
you're letting the umpire know that okay, you're stepping out. I'm in the crease. But at that point, I think again, if I'm playing at a professional level, the first thought I'm doing is I'm waiting for the ball to be called at proper. Anyway, I think we're being joined by another guest. Yes, here we are at the stream, and we have Nikhil with us. Nikhil, can you hear us?
I can, yeah, I can.
Ah, look at the t-shirt, huh?
Right. This. Yeah. All right. So now your video is fine. Also, there's a bit of freeze there too.
Is it? Is it? Did I freeze like the three number 11s of England? Three or four? How many ever number 11s?
Yes. I'll give a little bit of credit to Josh
Yeah,
Tang. I think he was okay. He did all right, all things considered.
I
he was.
just to digress a bit, I do like your T-shirt, huh, Nikhil?
What can I say?
Anyhow,
Yeah.
how
Oh, what a test
entertained we were.
match!
Just
I
Kane and
mean,
I
it
were.
was worth this Sunday. Enjoying the test match. It was a close finish, but you know what? Actually, if you look at it again, I hate to be a party pooper, but if you
Hmm.
just look at the gap, 43 runs, not as close as we thought, but for a test match standard, yes, you'd say close, close enough, 43, and it was
Hmm.
close. I think this entire test match was made exciting by just one thing, and that was Ben Stokes's innings. I
Yeah.
think it was a fantastic contest. Australian bowlers trying different tactics. One of them employing short pitch deliveries, and yet him taking them on and hitting those sixes. So it was fantastic, contest. But I think it was also, I mean, I'm just looking at the other way. It was also made easy for Ben Stokes. By the way, I mean, I don't know what you guys make of it, but we did not see that much of, or I don't know whether it's just one test match, but that whole talk about baseball and all of that. I thought that England played pretty conventional cricket this time around, barring that particular innings by Ben Stokes, where he had to play
Hmm.
counter-attacking at some point. But if you look at the way he started his innings, he was playing typical traditional test match cricket. Of course, later he kicked on, but I think that was more dictated by circumstances and not because they wanted to, really push that baseball philosophy, or really say that this is how we play. And I'm actually happy, because if you remember, after that first test match, I had a bit of a rant against baseball, and that was primarily because it's not that I don't like English cricket, but I thought that this English team could compete with Australia and fight with them tooth and nail. But all I wanted was to see them play some sensible cricket, some conventional test cricket, and if they did that and played according to situations, then it'd be a very close, even contest. And that's exactly, I think, what has happened this time around. If you see this test match, there will be no crazy declarations. There will be no, we will bat at over 100 strike rate kind of an approach, unless the situation dictated it at that very moment. For example, the Ben Stokes example that I gave you. If England continue to play this conventional cricket of approaching the game as per situation, and when need be, then digging their heels in, batting for long periods, just as Australia do, balance it, balance
Hmm.
of caution and aggression, just as Australia do, just as most other test playing nations do. Yes, I agree that England have revolutionized in a certain way white ball cricket, but just because you've done it there and you've got a lot of credit doesn't mean that you will continue to do it everywhere. So I thought that they kind of changed that position from being like crazy attacking and crazily insane, in test match cricket, to more conventional. I think this suits this English team. This test match could have gone either way. I would like for England to continue playing this, but I think where they lost this particular test match was that first innings, 400 and odd, when Australia got, and when you fell short by 92 runs, it would have been very easy considering you're chasing. Yes, there will be those occasions once in a while where you pull off that miraculous chase, as England did against India in that fifth test match when India went. But it's not always going to happen. Ben Stokes will play some outstanding innings as he has done in his career, but it's not always going to turn out to be on the winning side. So all of that, taken into account. But all in all, I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better test match. I hope this continues throughout the Ashes series, and then we have an exciting few weeks ahead of us.
Yeah, absolutely. I
Yes,
think, and to
Vilas.
take your point forward, when you were talking about how it is that England, let's say, were revolutionizing white ball cricket, even they kind of reached a point where they realized that flat out aggression, no matter what the situation, is probably not wise. Because again, if you look at how England won in the T20 World Cup, they did play situational cricket. Yes, they were aggressive when the situation demanded it, but there were times when they knew they had to play within their shells, they had to play conventional cricket, sometimes even, dare I say, defensive cricket for a T20 perspective, and they did it. And who was the key person for them in those situations? Ironically, it was Ben Stokes. So I think he too knew that today it was never going to be a case of we have to be slam bang. And in fact, even yesterday, he did start off slowly. Then later on, he counterattacked to the point that Cummins actually was placing 9 fielders out on the ring to ensure that he doesn't look to take a chance, because he knew if he gets Ben Stokes, then that was pretty much the match. So with Stokes, again, I think it was a
Let
good
me
innings
ask
on
you,
his
Shane,
part.
you're an English cricket
Yeah,
fan. Let me ask you,
yeah.
what would you prefer? Would you prefer, baseball for the heck of baseball and inviting,
Hmm,
because today also I got a lot of, while Ben Stoke was going hammer and tong, a lot of folks on social media pointing to my tweet that I'd put in earlier, where I'd said that, you know what, England will win social media, but Australia will win Ashes. So once
hmm,
again, that's happened in this test match.
yeah,
England have invited all the kudos. Ben Stokes is the toast of not just England, but toast of the cricketing world because of the way he
yeah,
played. I agree. All of that is a end of the day. I mean, you've gone to play the Ashes, right? You've gone to win headlines or be Mr. Popular, or have you gone there to win a test match? What's it at the
correct.
end of the day? It's 2-0 in Australia's favor. Simple as that. If you want to be the hero, the star, which everyone praises, that's another matter altogether. But you want to win at the end of the day, right? So you
Yeah.
have to put that. And I think England, in that sense, have kind of figured that out, that listen, we have to win test matches. And because they've also got a lot of criticism from their own countrymen, from their own media,
Hmm,
just I mean, sort of, if I was to use a football terminology, showboating as such is
hmm.
what they're doing. It has to be effective. It has to lead to something. It's all very well that you do something out of the ordinary and people notice you, but are you then getting the desired results that you're out for, right? Australia has got the desired results. End of the day, 2-0 up. So I don't know, as an English fan, what would you rather
Hmm.
have the English team do?
No, I think situational cricket is important. You can't play attacking cricket for the sake of being attacking. So you can't say that, oh, being attacking or trying to play, let's say, out of 5 balls, we're trying to hit 3 boundaries. That's not working. So now we're going to try and hit 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 5. No, I think you need to play to the situation. And I think, in Test cricket, generally speaking, the better sides always tend to win. So what tends to happen with this English side more often than not is they're up against teams with, I think, nowadays the decline of, let's say, putting importance for Test cricket. There is a definite chasm between, say, the top three and the rest of the teams. So more often than not, if you're the strongest team, if you have the better players, over the course of 5 days, things will even out to the point that you will win. Yes, upsets are possible in the shorter formats, whether that be ODI cricket or T20 cricket. T20 is definitely more so than ODIs, but I think now they're kind of going to reach that point where they say, yeah, you know what? We can't just play attacking cricket for the sake of being attacking cricket. We can't win social media, to use modern terminology. You have to win cricket matches at the end of the day. And this approach, whilst it's getting you close, you're sometimes getting so lost in the approach that you're forgetting the essence of the sport. The essence of the sport is to win the test match. And so far, you've lost the first two test matches, and you're very much in danger at this point. Australia have one hand on retaining the Ashes. So that's not good. Plain and simple.
Welcome, Sid.
It's not good. See, thanks, Nikhil. Yes, yes. Just returned today. And also, Australia winning. And also glad to see that the England players are getting confounded by their own approach and also by the fact that they are now going to rake up two things: the spirit of the game, that so-called hypocritical stance that the British media and the England players have always had. They're going to rake that up. Remember, this will all be drowned. The baseball criticism and everything will be drowned because of the Ben Stokes supposed miracle part two. Remember, he was almost close to doing yet another miracle in this test
Hmm.
match. He was. If he had not had that bad
Full
shot, I
credit
mean,
to
he
Ben
was just
Stokes.
one
Huh?
shot away from the hero.
All our rant against baseball aside, but full credit to Ben Stokes, is an
Yeah.
exceptional talent, and without doubt the best all rounder that you have, right? But that said,
Yep.
you cannot, you know uh, not point out some errors that they're making and trying to achieve this acceptance and glamour and style that comes with this new fresh approach, as it's said. You're losing the sight of what you really need to achieve, which is the victory. But like, as
See,
Sid
there
is
are.
pointing out, that controversy about, I think Sid missed our previous show. We did a show
Yeah.
Yeah.
where we've discussed. So if a lot of you are joining us now who missed that show, where we've discussed the Stark incident of taking that catch, as well as the other stump slash run out of Bairstow via Alex
Yeah.
Perry. We've discussed that at length in a video we just put out. You can check that out on Sports Today. So, I don't want to repeat that, but what we concluded was that on both occasions, the right decision was made. And it just so turns out that on both occasions there were two different teams that were involved, which may have thought
Exactly.
that they've got the wrong end of the stick. So in which case, if even if they are the aggrieved party, in which case it kind of evens out, right? It evens out.
Yeah.
One decision went Australia's way, the other decision went England's way. It evened out. You can keep cribbing. Glenn McGrath can crib for Australia and say that this is rubbish. You can have a few English players say that this is rubbish against the spirit of the game. You can do it, but at the end of the day, as I said, if England lost their sight by just the surround sound that was coming with baseball, and they got obsessed with that so much that they lost sight of what the main goal is, we would also be doing that sort of disservice by losing sight of what the result is, in which the better team won.
Yeah.
If we continue to focus on two instances, whether that was that catch by Stark or the run out, and saying that either of them had an impact on the result. No, the better team won. I mean, you could look at by the way, the test match, if you're going to look at ifs and buts, the test match could have been over. Steve Smith dropping that catch of Ben Stokes. That's
Exactly.
Steve Smith. You give him that catch 1,000 times, 999 times, probably he'll take it. That
No,
that
no, I'll
catch.
disagree with you there because he does have a tendency of dropping simple catches. So he'll commit clangers, but he will absolutely take screamers. I don't understand this, man.
It's like Virat. Virat,
No,
it happens
Aha.
with him.
he took a
He'll take
brilliant
Yeah.
catch. Two
15
brilliant
catches.
catches in that WTC final. Two brilliant
Yeah,
catches
that's
for
the thing.
Virat.
He'll take the brilliant catches. A 1 out of 10 catch, he'll take 10 out of 10 times. A 9 out of 10, he'll take 1 time out of 10. I don't understand his philosophy. That was the easiest catch. He reached, hit his hand, and then bounced out. And I'm like, okay, how did he do that? Then I remembered Steve Smith. I'm like, no, that's what he does.
See, two things. Two things in this test match made it very clear. Okay, that collapse of 6 for 47.
Hmm.
That
Yeah.
was your clincher. 6 for 47. And the problem that has always persisted with England versus Australia contest. Why do you think Australia hold the edge against England? That short ball barrage.
Hmm.
You look at it in 2013, you look at it in 2017,
But say,
2021.
this time England also used that tactic pretty well, huh?
Yes.
Hmm.
Broad in particular, he got those wickets as well. They used the same tactics. I mean, so in terms of application or applying that tactic, both teams had it.
In
But
fact,
again,
you could
remember,
argue that they did it in 2019 as well, if you remember, because see, this
yes,
time I think what is the one thing that England's pace attack is missing? A genuine fast bowler. They don't have that.
fast bowler, yes.
Exactly. You don't have a Mark Wood. You don't have a Jofra Archer. Because again, 2019, you remember Archer was breathing fire. He may not have gotten as many wickets, but that short ball tactic, he was being used very effectively. Steve Smith will vouch for it, as will Labuschagne. It's what pretty much gave him that reintroduction to Test cricket. This time around, though, I think they need to look at, I don't know, an express pacer. They need one. Because if you're going to go for a short ball tactic and rely on Stuart Broad and James Anderson and Ollie Robinson,
Yes.
yeah, it'll be a
And
problem.
Anderson,
That's the problem.
woefully out of form. Uh,
Who and
woefully out of form, Jimmy.
Anderson.
oh yeah, absolutely. I think that first test really dented his confidence. He was like, if I'm going to get these kind of pitches, I'm done. I think he's
He
checked
got
out at
slightly
some point.
better pitch now. He's still done. It's like got
Yeah,
slightly better conditions and pitch in Lords, but still done.
exactly. Yeah, because here you can't even blame the conditions. Day one, you were given a green pitch with cloud cover. What more do you need as if you're James Anderson?
Yeah.
Exactly. The last of Jimmy, maybe in the series.
Good point.
Maybe.
Good point. Good point. Because I mean, in these conditions, I agree with Shane. You needed an out and out fast bowler, a Mark Wood. You needed a Mark Wood. You needed
Yeah.
a Jofra Archer. You
Because
needed that.
see, what was the difference? The difference maker was Stark, Hazelwood, Green, Cummins, all bowling in excess of 85 miles per hour. These guys are
And
touching
all able to hit the
80.
hard length on a consistent basis.
Yes, even with greater pace. So you hurry the batsman a lot more. Whereas Australia, they know how to play the cross-batted shots well with these kind of pace that's there. 80, 82
Exactly.
miles. England in particular, Ollie Robinson's not 89, 90 miles. How much ever he can try to be. Broad, he's not the Broad of 2013 or 14. We very good crank the pace up.
Yeah.
Anderson's also lost pace in order to ensure longevity. So it's not looking good for England. And remember, Mark Wood was not deemed ready for this test match. What is the definition of
Hmm.
not ready?
Yeah.
Is he recovering from that injury that he sustained or not got enough overs? Big blow then, if that's the case. And remember, Stokes is also not bowling. Stokes is also not bowling with that tilt in pace because of the knee problem that he's got.
Yeah.
So, express pace, boss, that will work in baseball.
I'm just going to take a couple of comments. Lalit Anand, where he says, when aggressive cricket crosses the line, then it becomes foolish cricket. Then it is, which I agree that, aggression has its place, but you've got to be aware of the situation and how and when. And I think England have made that conscious change. Like first test match, they were just out there to grab the headlines. This time they've changed it a bit, and look how close this test match was. I think they played situation, they agreed. And one other thing, because we keep talking about, if you really want to make a statement, be aggressive, pass ball. I think Mr. Gavaskar made that point on Sports Today. Very valid point. He said, if you want to be that aggressive, you want to tell the world, then that aggression just doesn't limit yourself just to batting. Be like that while bowling as well. Nah? Don't be defensive. If you
Mm.
want to be that baseball aggressive, that it's all or nothing, be like that in bowling. You need to have fields like that. You need to bowl like that. Then that I want wickets, I'm just going for wickets. You hammer me, I'm not scared. But you get defensive while bowling, but while batting you want to be attacking in play. So you can't have that, which is also, I think, a very interesting point. But on that, Lalit, I mean, as I said, first test match, I ranted a lot against England's approach, and I think they got a criticism from across the globe, which is why they've course corrected in this test match. What Ben Stokes did was played the situation. Outstanding knock at that. Suhas Shelin is saying Australia cheats, and I don't know. I don't agree. And
No.
I'd like to take Siddharth and Shane's opinion. But by the way, how do you say that? I'm just going to repeat Alex Carey. My only point about that is people are talking about according to the rules, it's out, which I think nobody disagrees. But I'm even taking that debate to the spirit of cricket. I don't think even if you look at it from spirit of cricket point of view, he did anything wrong, because just take a closer look at that run out. He catches the ball and instantly throws it. It would have been against the spirit of cricket had he caught the ball and slimily held on to the ball to deceive the batsman that, oh, the ball is dead. And then when he stepped out, slimily got him out. Then I would agree that he's trying to cheat.
Mm.
He's trying to deceive the batsman that, the ball was dead. I was not playing. It was finished. And so I tried, and then when he makes a mistake, goes out, then I get him out. That would have been slimy. That would have been sly. That would have been deceitful. That would have been invoked spirit of cricket for me. Here, just see that catches in that same motion, throws it, gets out. It's besto. I mean, I'm saying, what was it? It's natural instinct, right? If you've missed the ball, you come back, you wait 5 seconds and go. Had he just
Yeah.
done the basic, I'm not even saying like really stop there, look back at the keeper, been 100% sure, all of that also he didn't need to do. He just in the basic. The once you play it, you just come back in that 5 seconds. I'm telling you, believe you me, you just look at that. Carey would have thrown it, you would have been inside the crease, ball would have had dead, or Carey would have held it. So even when it comes to the spirit of cricket, I do not think what Alex Carey did was even against the spirit of the game. Yes, the Mitchell Stark thing, you can debate, and I agree that that was not out. The umpire gave it not out. But even there, as I said, even there, I don't think the spirit of the game or Stark was trying to cheat. In his mind, the interpretation was that once he's caught it and he sees in control, then it's okay to touch the ball. And he touches it, he knows that, but he thinks that that's out. It would have been again deceiving, cheating had he slimily again, without trying to show anybody, touched the ball on the ground and then claimed it, where he himself knew that
Yeah.
it's not out, and he was trying to claim a catch. In his mind, you see it again. In his mind, he's convinced that that is out. In his interpretation of the law, he's in control and he's taken the catch. It's over, and so he can touch the ground. He's convinced. That's why he's claiming. So both scenarios, I think the right decision was made. That was not out, which Stark caught. This was out, which was and both scenarios, I don't think Australians were trying to cheat. I think,
Mm.
I have blamed the Australian. They were, and Indians have been on the receiving end. You're talking about lifting a ball, touching down. It happened a few times. It happened with
Sydney.
Sydney, uh, with
No,
Ricky
Ponting,
Ponting.
when he
It's
tried to, when he grasped one catch, but he took it.
yes,
Clark
Ponting. That's
of
right.
Ganguly.
Clark of Ganguly, exactly. That's what I'm saying. On those occasions, I agree. Where they knew that the ball had touched and it was not
Yes.
out, and you're still trying to deceive the umpire or the opposition team, that was cheating. In this case, I don't
Yes.
think it was cheating, but I'd love to know Siddharth and
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, okay. There's a very interesting character in that dressing room of England. And about 17 years ago, he had done something very similar. Messer Brendan McCullum, if you remember that Wellington Test match, Sangakkara nudged a bowler to fine leg.
Yes.
Muralidharan came up to just congratulate him, but the ball wasn't dead. McCullum
Yes.
just ran him out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, according to the rule 38.3 of the run out law, you just check it out in the MCC. If the ball is not dead, Bairstow would do well to echo what Charles Leclerc had said on the radio. I am stupid. It was a stupid move from Bairstow to just come out. You know that the ball is not dead. And it is smart work by Alex Carey. Let us not mince any words. It was brilliant. You may see he had the vision. He saw, okay, Bairstow is doing this. Why not I have a shot at stumps?
Yeah.
He did it. And contrast this thing to what happened 12 years ago. Similar thing happened with Ian Bell, right, at Trent Bridge
Yes.
against India. What gave England the legitimacy to go to the dressing room and tell them withdraw the run out? It was clearly run out. Bell was sleeping in his mind that, oh, okay, he had to. I thought it was T. India were meek in that sense. If the Australians were in a similar situation, they would have said, no, are you crazy that we're going to withdraw the appeal? And remember, Lords
You know
is
what
not a
happened in
center
the
of
test match after that? After you won the Spirit of the ICC award, but what happened in the test match? I was there at Trent Bridge, so I
yes,
saw it pretty
yes.
closely.
I mean, you can win the Spirit of the Game awards as much as you can fill the trophy cabinet. But at the end of the day, as Nikhil had pointed out at the start, you lost the test match, you were whitewashed 4-0. That is the brutal truth. And MS Dhoni's red ball statistics are defined by that. It's not defined by the Spirit of the Game award. And remember, 2014, Ben Stokes, remember what happened, Shane and Nikhil, in that ODI? Stark flung at the ball at Stokes in ODI. He just punched it away, given out handling the ball.
Yep.
Within the rules. Within the rules. So, to insinuate that the Australians were cheats, and that too a certain section of the British media are going to lap this up. And it is typical British doublespeak in that sense.
No, I think if anyone is raking up the spirit of the game thing, then it's a tired argument. At this point, no. Play by the rules, win or lose by the rules. This was within the rules. Simple as.
This is within the rules.
I want to
And
know,
remember, because of England.
has anyone seen this gentleman whose name is Spirit of the Game? Has anyone seen him ever?
No, he's never visited me. I don't like spirits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
He's just there.
it changes, it looks different
Not
to
those
everyone.
types.
And sometimes the spirit, is different when you're this side. The spirit looks very different when you're that side. When the shoe's on the other foot, then spirit sometimes is there. When it's this side, it's happening to you, then spirit is there. If you're doing it to anyone, then spirit disappears. It's very convenience. It's a matter of convenience. That's why I say
That's why
there's
rules
a
are best.
rule book, follow the rule book. And as somebody pointed out, the members, again, unprecedented. The AMCC members, the stiff upper lip, wearing tie and sipping on their champagne. Members, literally having verbals with the Australian players, never happened before.
Alex Carey, yes.
But somebody should tell them that you guys are the ones who've written the laws of the game, and what they're doing is following the laws of the game. And so the laws that you have written, because somebody is following, is upset you. So wow,
It's weird. It's a very typical problem to our sport, really. And sadly, it doesn't just come from the English people. I've seen this mentality echoed in multiple cricketing spheres, regardless of nationality, regardless of everything. And I've never understood it, because I think we're one sport where we are more obsessed about, I don't know, fairness. And I get it, you're supposed to be playing within the rules, but fairness is defined by what's there in the rules, A. And B, most of the sports you will see sportsmen at least trying to, if not necessarily break the rules, but skirt around the line of what's acceptable. Here you do anything that is predeterminedly not in the spirit, and you are officially seen as, I don't know, a poor custodian of the game. But I don't know, rules, stick by the rules, play by the rules, win and lose by the rules.
I mean, stumped and runouts at Lords. I mean, what a heavenly connection. I mean, remember Dikti Sharma Chalideen, same venue. What a stinker that way, the runout. Now this stumped.
And that shouldn't have either.
Clearly
It was a run out, plain and simple.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm gonna take
And that is
Rajan
where this is
Premji.
where the double speak
He's a
comes.
regular watcher, and he's saying poor sportsmanship from Aussies.
No.
Rajan, I do not agree with you here. I mean, you can see a video, go back. You can see a previous video which we did just on this controversy. I don't agree. But again, everyone's entitled to their opinion. I think one cricketing point which Hardik here is making, which is true, he said English bowling attack is pretty old
Mm.
and they're batting very one dimensional. They need to
Yes.
make a few changes and then they might have an advantage in the future. And Hardik, I completely agree. As I said, I keep repeating my rant against baseball in the first test match wasn't so much because it's against England. It doesn't really matter to me whether England wins or Australia. We are neutral fans, want to see good cricket. The only thing I felt was that this English team has it in them to compete against this Australian team, tooth and nail. They can fight so long as they use their brains and play proper cricket and not make those, errors just because they want to, you know, send out a statement. I think that
Mm.
was the problem. So if they had played conventional proper cricket, first innings declaring at that point, at the end, it boiled down to a very small margin. You should have continued, got 40 more runs, which any other team would have done. Probably they would have won the first test match. You know,
Mm.
just stupid, foolish things because we want to make a statement, we want to grab the headline.
And
That's what I
remember,
this time they were far more, you know, uh, logical in their thinking, conventional in
yes,
their thinking, and see what a close test match we got.
Stokes's knock was not baseball template. It was
Not at
situational.
all.
He played like
Not at
that
all.
in Leeds.
Mm.
He played like that in Leeds. That was much before baseball, 2019.
Yeah.
Situational cricket. That is something that England's red ball team have not been able to adapt. Why? Because they have not faced the bowling attacks which could dent them till
Mm.
now. You knew that the Aussie bowling attack would be far more superior than the ones that they face against New Zealand, than the ones that they face against Pakistan, and unfortunately also against India. Although I thought the Indian bowling was also good when they came to Edgbaston. You had Siraj, you had Bumrah, you had Shami, but somehow India just didn't turn up that day. I was
Yeah.
really surprised because we had a good bowling attack. Let us not be delusional about that. We had a good bowling attack at Edgbaston. Maybe first test blues always. Sena countries, we never get together.
I want to take one question by Akash Bhardwaj. He wants to know, will Ben Stokes be in the all-time Test 11 as an all-rounder? Ooh.
That's a debate for
No,
another time
not in
because
my book.
Not at the
Yeah,
moment because Jack
no,
Callis is ahead of him.
no,
I
no.
don't
yeah,
think anyone can surpass Jack Callis at the moment. So no, but it's a
Oh, yes.
conversation worth having when once he retires, hangs up his boots. Let's see the kind of numbers that he finishes with. But Callis for me. Anybody disagree? Or
no, exactly
Gold
that. You
standard.
can't look past
Luckily
Jack
to have
right
witnessed
now.
Callus. I mean, look
Mm.
at
yep,
the
yep.
numbers in both ODIs and tests. Mind blowing. No one is even coming close to that. No one.
Yeah.
Dex is saying what Johnny did was laughable. It was lunacy. Why would you do that against a team like Australia? I would say, why just would you do that against any team? You could
Why
have
would you do
won.
that?
Yeah, exactly. GGK also knows, does England need Rehan and Wood instead of Ollie and Anderson?
Well, I think Rehan is someone they should look to bring in because again, you look at the kind of impact that a spinner can have, especially now with the kind of baseball pitches that you're looking at, which aren't necessarily focused on making the ball move, which do tend to wear out in a couple of days. I think having a spinner, you saw the kind of impact Lyon had, and truth be told, another thing which I don't think anyone's really touched upon is that this result might have been a lot worse if Nathan Lyon was able to bowl in that fourth innings. The fact that he couldn't actually gave England a sliver of a
Agreed.
hope.
Actually, we missed that point.
Yeah.
That's actually he didn't get a chance to bowl. And then again, talking about spirit of the cricket, the only thing that was against the spirit of the cricket was I think the comments made by Kevin Peterson
Yeah, that
saying
was
that he
terrible.
came out
Horrible
bad
comment.
so that they get a. That was completely out of the line. And I think Nathan Lyon was very dignified in his reply where he said like I've lost a mate, so I wouldn't want that.
Yes.
Had it been, imagine if he had said something like this to Ricky Ponting, Glenn McGrath, I'm sure that it would have been not English,
Far
but
less polite.
some French also mixed in with the reply that would have come from them. Wouldn't have been that dignified as Nathan Lyon. But I thought that was completely out of the line. But yeah, missing Nathan Lyon, he would have run through the batting order in the second innings for sure, which has also opened up another
Yes.
debate, which we can have another day. We don't have that much time. About R. Ashwin
Yep.
suggesting
But
that
remember, Travis
maybe
Head in the
allow
first innings kind of stepped up, what couple of wickets.
Yeah, but I think the problem was that he was releasing the pressure. So the English batsmen didn't really have much problem playing him. So that is why you didn't see him bowl in the second innings. And if you actually wanted even a part-time spinner, Root really was pretty effective. But I don't think Travis Head gave the English batters that much trouble, which is why you didn't see him bowl. That's why I think if England really do need another fault of theirs, and in hindsight we can say this was not having a single spinner in the 11.
Yeah.
I would say the changes for England in the Leeds Test was just 6 days later. Get Robinson, remove Anderson, get Wood, Rehan Ahmed.
Yeah,
Take
yeah,
the
Yeah.
call. Don't play Anderson.
That's what
absolutely.
GGK also pointed out. Yep. 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 Abhinav wants to know how much longer will England give chances to performers like Crawley and keep folks out of the team? Good point, by the way, Abhinav.
But I don't know. I think they're kind of
See,
okay as
Zach
far as the
Crowley's had a
wicketkeeper
new lease
position is
of life
concerned.
in baseball. That you can agree upon it.
That's also
He's
true.
had a new
That's
lease of
true.
life.
Yeah,
But yes, he's not
he's
giving
had
the
one,
big,
two
big
bad
scores.
games.
Yeah.
Hmm. But he's given them a lot of
So,
impetus in the middle. So
yep.
True.
Maybe it's time maybe for Ollie Pope to consider because see, Pope has not set the stage on fire. Maybe
yeah,
folks can come in for Pope. But Crawley persists with him. Duckett has shown that his worth in this test, right? 98 and 85.
yeah,
Stokes, Bairstow, you will persist with them along with that. So I think Pope's place is in question.
yeah.
Yeah. On that note, shall we
So
wind up,
Australia,
guys?
yeah,
Go ahead.
England anyway
Go ahead,
staring
Siddharth.
at 87-year history because only once it's happened. A team down 2-0 in the Ashes or in 5 test history, they have gone on 2-3-2.
Hmm.
Only once it's
Oh,
happened ever.
you
Well,
reckon?
That was the
You reckon it's
36-37
gonna happen? Yeah.
Australians.
not
You
a
reckon
chance
it?
it's happening. At best, a 2-2 at best.
Mm,
Yeah.
yep.
You think a draw? I think it won't be a draw. These kind of pitches and the way how they approach the game, because it's so fast paced, doesn't allow you for a draw.
That's why I'm saying
That
best case
reminds
is
me,
2-2. Best
That
case.
reminds me. At least I hope these test matches have shut those 4-day test match guys who would push for 4-day test matches. I hope
Yeah.
that argument's done and dusted.
The women's Ashes test for the first time went to 5 days, and it turned out to be a thriller.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Women's game
Absolutely.
is going ahead, the men's game is regressing backwards. 4-day test matches. Are we in the Ranji League systems? 4-day test, first
Mhm.
class matches.
Yeah, then you'll have to allot
Ridiculous.
winners based on first innings lead. That'd be like a
Yes.
disaster.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely bad. Okay.
Chalo.
Any more
See you guys.
questions?
All right.
See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.
All right. Bye bye.
Note, it'll be a Monday. Look forward to that Monday. Plenty to talk about. By the way, for
Absolutely.
all of you joining us, don't forget to subscribe to Sports Today if you haven't already. And do check out our detailed videos that we've done on the entire controversy that's been happening at the Ashes, alongside all the other videos that we do across sports, across the globe. From Siddharth, Shane, and I, have a good Sunday night and have a good Monday.
Bye bye.
If you're working, studying, whatever.
Yes.
Bye bye.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Bye.